Good morning, everybody. It's Mother Crowe here again with another garden tour video. Happy May 1st. It's May, and yeah, we're in the garden. A lot has changed since the last video, so hope you're ready to see it. Starting up here on the deck, we've got my hibiscus plant. Beautiful hibiscuses off of it. The kids really like the hibiscus. Hibiscus is good for tea. The kids also can eat it right off the plant. Alright, so first up I have my avocado tree and then some strawberries, and I'm keeping them out the sun because they get too hot and I don't want them to die. So I've really got them shaded and protected good. Then I've got here a pear tomato sprouts, because that's easier than selling it sometimes. I have some strawberries here. Again, I'm trying to keep them out the sun, so I've got little things to protect the new growth because it gets too hot here sometimes for strawberries. So I really have to keep them covered in the summertime. Okay, next deck box, I've got my lavender. And my lavender is flowering. These beautiful little purple flowers. Love it. Lavender. And my lavender is still in the original pot because lavender actually likes it tight on the roots. And this is a good way to keep the roots tight. I've got my spearmint here. I've got eggplant here. I don't actually need this one, so again, I will just get rid of it like I will the other tomatoes. This is a chocolate mint and a aloe plant in that deck box. And then in this deck box, I've Thai basil, oregano, regular basil or holy basil, sage, and then purple basil. And then this little guy, I'm not sure what it is. It's something, I got it in the mail. So we'll see if it even lives. This is rosemary. I trimmed a bunch of rosemary already. It's still going really good. I love my rosemary. This is dill, which again, we like dill a lot. I like to just snack on it, which is kind of weird, but I like it. This is green onion, and then some flowering thyme, and it's flowering right now. I like the way all this smells, and having all these herbs up here on the deck really keeps the mosquitoes down, especially if we live in Florida. It's important to keep the mosquitoes down because mosquitoes can get really bad. So having all these herbs up here will keep them away. All right, so coming down the ramp, right here, first stop here, I've got an Everglade tomato and a hibiscus cutting. It's not really a cutting, it's more like the kids pulled off a branch, or Vicky pulled off a branch, and I stuck it in some dirt to see if it'll grow roots and live. And so far it's doing good. It's got some new leaves on there, so we'll see. It might live if Vicky doesn't keep pulling it out the ground. Hi. Hi. Alright. So we're moving down to the front garden now. And the front garden is mostly my non-edible plants, but there are a few edibles thrown in. Let's take a look. So this is my front garden. Sorry, Vicky is tearing it up. Vicky. Stop taking he's taking the fence off. Oh, Vicky, leave the fence alone. Alright, so I'll have to fix that later. He's taking my fence off. But at least he's not touching the cactus yet. He's very close. Vicky, come on. Okay, so first up here is my Mexican bush sage. And this is not a culinary sage. Like, it's not one you want to eat because it has little to no flavor whatsoever. It's not poisonous or anything. It doesn't give you any ill effects. It's just very bland. So it's not recommended to use this one for cooking. However, this one has beautiful flowers. And this one's also good at keeping mosquitoes down, so might as well have it, right? That's the Mexican bush sage. There's some aloe plants thrown about in here because we use a lot of aloe with the kids. My rose bush, This is my rose bush. I've got some buds on here. It's my new rose bush because I got this at the beginning of April for only $5 at Lowe's. And it has a ton of little buds on it. It's doing really well, actually. It really likes it here. It's got a couple of these bad leaves, but I just pluck them off, and the rose bush seems to be doing a fine with that. Just pluck it off. Care. This is a pineapple plant here right below my rose bush. These are my mums. They're starting to lose their color. They were bright red when they're first bloomed, and now they start to fade and dry. But there are new buds in here, so we will get new mums soon. I just probably have to cut off all of the old ones. This is a blueberry bush. This is a blueberry bush. These are my new blueberries. This is a salvia plant. It has some new flowers, it has some old flowers. It's really pretty regardless. And salvia is just another type of sage. I mean, sages are salvias. So these flowers are similar to what the Mexican bush sage flowers look like. They're all in the same family. Again, though, this is not one you want to eat. All right, so this is my pineapple plant. This pineapple plant has been in the ground here for a full year, and then before that it was in a pot for a full year. So, and I should hopefully get a pineapple off of it this summer or this coming fall. So this is my peach tree. It has a lot of new growth, which is really good, because when I first got this peach tree it was dying and I had to cut it. I've talked about this before, but look at all the new growth. It's really exciting. And here some marigolds. They're not doing so good. I thought they would be bigger by now, and they're not. And then the bottom pot has like nothing in it but an aloe, I think. So I really have got to get something potted in here. Maybe one of those tomatoes that I have, extra tomatoes. Alright, so this is I'm excited about this one. This is one of my favorite plants here. This is my flowering jasmine vine. And it smells amazing. It's really good to like calm you and help you sleep. So as the flowers start to fall off, they still smell really good. And I like to pick them up off the ground and take them inside and dry them out. That one has 6 petals. They normally only have 5. That one's got 6. I like to dry them out, and I can use them in my bath right before bed, and they really relax you and calm you down for bed. They're also really good for the kids to calm them down too. So that's my flowering jasmine vine. And it goes all the way up my shelf here. And it only flowers once a year, so I'm excited that you guys get to see the flowers this year. This is so pretty. And then up here I've got some succulents, which I hardly ever show you guys my succulents. I'm just like, oh, these are succulents. This is a zebra aloe, and then this is a flame aloe, and that's a regular aloe. And this is, I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember the one in the back is called either. This one's a mother of millions though, and it's called that because each one of these little things that's on here will turn into a whole new plant, and it can really spread rapidly. So I keep this one in a pot. There's also more aloe in here, so I've got a lot of aloe. Like I said, lots and lots and lots of aloe. But yeah, my flowering jasmine vine. Okay, and that's it for the front yard. Garden bed here. The only thing I have in here is my broadleaf plantain plant. Sorry, it's really like, there we go. This is my broadleaf plantain plant. I actually brought this down from Maryland, and it's doing really well because the only one we grow here in Florida is the thin leaf plantain, and I prefer the broadleaf plantain. I know it's weird to prefer a weed, but it's very medical. It's got a lot of medical properties, and it's a really good plant to have. And it's like one of my favorite medical and edible weeds. So that's why I've got that one. Pole beans. No beans on there right now. I did pull like a handful off yesterday though. Hoping that if I pull them off early enough, it will give me more flowers and more beans, which sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't, you know. It's hit or miss. So we'll see if I get more beans or not. If not, I'll have seeds for next year at least. This, yeah, Okinawa spinach, tomato plant here with some flowers. The kids put it in this tiny pot. I would not put it in that small of a pot. This is edamame here. I really like the fresh edamame. I have 2 edamame plants, that one and that one. I planted more seeds in here, but this bed, with it being on ground level, gets a lot of pests, a lot of bugs, a lot of squirrels, you know, come in here and dig it up and get my seeds. So not a lot of stuff sprouts in this one. So whatever does sprout, I just let it grow. Don't really try to control it too much. Oh, here's the other Attribution plant I was telling you about. And this one has a flower. And Attribution are also edible. 100% edible. The stems, the leaves, the flowers. My kids like the flowers. So. And then behind the Attribution I have another Okinawa spinach. And then I have my, whatever this is, type of green. It was labeled collards or kale, because those are the seeds that I planted. But whatever it is, it's got a bunch of seed pods, a ton of seed pods. Look at these, all these seed pods. And as soon as they dry out, I'll have a bunch of seeds. And I really like this green. We ate a lot of it in the winter time. It grows really good in the winter here. And then it goes to seed like this, so. This is my sweet potato bed, and I've got a lot of sweet potatoes coming up, and the greens here are edible, as well as the tubers underneath. I like to use these greens in cooking, like soups or sauces. They taste like spinach once it's cooked. Raw, it doesn't taste very good, but cooked it's very, very good. I like it cooked. This is my blueberry bush, with a lot of blueberries on it that are not ready to pick yet. Kind of sad they're not ready to pick yet. I've been waiting months and months and months for these blueberries. So, not sure how much longer they're gonna take before they're ready to pick. And this is more sweet potatoes in here, but it's not actually coming up yet. Right now, what's in there is purslane and, oh, there's some sweet potato leaves right there. The big ones, and then the small leaves you see there are all purslane, and purslane is another weed that's very edible. It's high in omega-3s, so again, it's something we'll use in salads, you know, because we can't grow greens in the middle of summer here, or not like your traditional greens, so we have to find other ways to enjoy our salads than just eating like iceberg lettuce, you know, because we can't even grow iceberg lettuce in Florida. It gets too hot. Okay, that's the side garden. This is the other side garden. This is the other side garden over here. And I'm starting with this red pot. It used to have potatoes in it. In the last video I did, it had potatoes in it. But the kids did a video of them harvesting all the potatoes, which I will throw up on their channel. In the meantime, you guys can check out what's newly growing here. We've got these are blueberry tomatoes, which I'm excited about these. If they do well or not, we'll see. They have like this cool purple stem for a tomato, which is really cool. And then another Mother of Millions plant here that Vicky brought over from the front garden. I'll move it back eventually, but right now it's doing good to keep the soil moist. So if you live in a hot climate, it's good to layer pots and stuff on top of your plants, because everything underneath that pot will be wet or damp, preventing so much evaporation, and you know, your plants won't be thirsty all the time, which is good for me because we're probably going on vacation at the end of this month, and if we do that, nobody's gonna be here to water the plants, so I have to be very careful about how I keep their soil moist and how I'm going to keep them alive when I'm not here. These are all our bushes, our berry bushes. There was a grapevine in here, but I think it died. It didn't like the berry bushes. So they're doing really well. They should start flowering here soon because they're getting very tall. I'm excited. Berries are normally at like the end of June. This is my lemongrass. Love that one. It smells amazing. I use it inside and outside. I make the kids a lemongrass tea, which is very similar to lemonade. It's a little sweeter than lemonade sometimes. But the kids love it. It's really good for them. This is my daddle pepper. This is a local pepper. It gets about that big. And this pepper, it's spicy and sweet. It's really odd flavor and I love it. I've got a lot of flowers on here, but no peppers yet. This is a tomato plant. This is one of the first tomato plants I planted from seed, actually, which most of mine are not from seed this year, but I planted this one from seed. And it has a lot of little tomatoes on it. Let me show you a couple here if it'll let me with the lighting. There's some tomatoes there, and then down here some bigger tomatoes. I can't even remember which kind this is. I think it might be a cherry tomato, simply because of the way it's growing. But if it gets much bigger than that, it's not cherry. So we'll see. But they're doing really well. I've got a lot of little tomatoes on there, so I'm very excited about this one because I grew it entirely from seed, and most of the time I grow tomato from sprouts. So also in here I have some pepper plants, some bell pepper plants, and this one started to turn into a pepper. There's a lot of flowers still too, so I'm excited about that. And I've got onions down at the bottom. And then over here in this flower bed, lighting is, sun is just shining. I've got more tomatoes up here, and I've got a bunch of eggplants down here. So layered it up. There's still a carrot in there too. There's one little carrot back there. Okay, this used to have carrots in it. The kids have pulled most of them out. Oh, that's where I can put my other Everglade tomato. I'll put it right there. That pot's deep enough for a small tomato. This is my elephant ear plant and my banana tree. My banana tree has a lot of growth on it, so that's good. More tomatoes in here. I've got 3 tomatoes in here. They're all different varieties, and I don't really feel like reading the tags right now, but as they start to fruit, I'll try and tell you more of what varieties they are. This is a rainbow pepper here. I've got a couple little peppers on there. They're changing color finally. They were purple for like 6 months, and they're finally turning red and orange, which I like when they're brightly colored. That's why it's called rainbow pepper. So yeah. And then I've got some local flowers. These are not spiderwort. No, that's what Trader Scantias are. These are shepherd's needle, I think, or shepherd's purse. I don't know. But they call them that because of these little, the seeds look like needles. I think it is shepherd's needle. Yeah. And it's local to Florida, and it brings in the pollinators. So, and then up here is my orange tree. Let me go around and show you my baby oranges. Got a lot of little baby green oranges on this. Well, it's technically a mandarin tree, so that's why they're really small, because they're just going to be, they're mandarin oranges. They're small oranges anyways, and they're doing really good. It's first year for fruit for them, so I'm so excited. This one is more tomatoes in here, and I've got lots of flowers. This is a big tomato, I know that. This is like homestead tomato, I think. So that's exciting. Those are the ones we'll use for tomato sandwiches. And then last bed here, this very last bed, I have green onions. I have a tomato in here. This is an Everglade tomato. I could probably put the other Everglade in here too, because I'm doing well with 2 tomatoes per bag. So I love these grow bags. If you live in a hot climate, definitely recommend grow bags. They're awesome. This is a banana pepper, and the kids already got a pepper off of here. It was like this big, and the kids just yanked it off. It wasn't even yellow yet. I was like, oh no, my peppers. But that's okay. It's the fun of gardening with children, right? So that's it. That's the whole garden. I hope you enjoyed this garden video, and I know the sun's behind me, so it's really bright. I hope you enjoyed this garden video. See you guys next week, when I will be back with my weekly reading, as well as some other sort of vlog video like I do every week. Be sure to like and subscribe.